Missions Pulse. Know God's heart, join his mission.
The world is becoming more religious every single year.
I read that in something you sent me recently.
So that's counterintuitive, because
Yes.
you walk outside, you think, oh, that's, everybody's an atheist or whatever you're thinking.
The rise of the nuns.
Yeah, the rise of the nuns. These are real things in the Western world. But remember, most people live in China, in India, and they live in places where religion is on the move and growing.
Or at least where the spiritual world is very much in sync with the physical world, right? It's not separated as we do.
And even in Christianity, where's Christianity growing the fastest? Places like Africa, which is not all conversion anymore. It's large families.
I see.
So there's a demographic
Population
reality
growth.
to this too. That's why the world's becoming more religious every single day, and that's an important finding. And we feel that. And this has been supported by other people who do what we do, that's a trend we're going to see through 2050. So that's amazing to think the world is going to be more religious in 2050 than it is today, which takes us full circle back to the idea you should know something about religion and you should know people in other religions.
Yes.
That's an area that we all need to work on. That's, I think, one of the major implications of our research is this particular thing.
I think that is what this research, specifically World Christian Encyclopedia, is doing, challenging those things, encouraging people to understand those around them, that Jesus would still leave the 99 to save the one, and the one may look very different from you, may dress different, speak a different language. These are things that I think are going to really propel people to take part in God's epic mandate. I really appreciate you sharing not only what some might consider from a distance dry statistical data, right? This is not what this is at all. This is seeing what is taking place in the world, not because of humanity per se, but how God is orchestrating the end of the ages in such a magnificent way for the great return of his son. And I'm excited. I guess what I'm excited for is that people would have an opportunity to take part in the joy of this great commission, the sending forth of Jesus, not to kind of be so stuck in their nationalistic ways or myopic understanding or ethnocentric, ways, but to say, no, I want to see beyond what God is doing in this global landscape. I think this is what the research that you're doing specifically is encouraging believers from around the world to take part in, that joy of the journey.
That's right. Yeah, and one perhaps less obvious thing, or maybe it should say it's more obvious, is that by documenting where Christians are and where they are not, we're continuing to try to inform the missionary enterprise about where the best places to go are. And one of the toughest things that I think I've faced over the years is to see that the vast majority of missionaries, brand new missionaries, who are sent out around the world tend to go to Christian places.
Yes.
So we still have this particular problem, and it's part of it is one of our most quoted findings is that there are now 45,000 Christian denominations in the world, and so when you have that many denominations, then people in other denominations that you might not like or appreciate become targets for your missionary enterprise. And we continue to see this. And it's not all bad, actually. I mean, part of it is the fact that we do want more cross-pollination. So if you have a new missionary and they're invited to go to sub-Saharan Africa someplace, they get there, and it's a tremendous, and this could be a missionary from China or from Brazil or from Germany. It doesn't really matter anymore, of course. But it might be a very positive thing for that church to have this connection. But you might find that the situation they go to in Africa is more Christian than the place that they were sent from. So that maybe is kind of turning this upside down. So that's a positive thing. It's not all negative, but there is the competition side of it too that has to be dealt with. And of course, most missionaries should go to Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus, etc.
I was going to say, beyond the competition, this is perpetuating the reality of gospel-deprived or unreached people groups.
Right.
I mean, with an estimated, some figures would change, 5,000 unreached people groups today, some nearly 2 billion people who've never heard the name of Jesus in 2020. You know, this is incredible. I often walk into villages in China and say, 你们这儿有没有听说过耶稣基督? Have you ever heard of Jesus Christ here? And one man responded to me, 那是不是一种香皂的名牌? Is that a brand of a soap?
Right.
I mean, this is really, he thinks Jesus, he's getting close. Okay, Jesus will wash you up and clean you up a little better than other answers I've received. But nearly 2 billion who've never heard the name of Jesus, this is the fact that we are sending mission trips, or there's gap year missions, or whatever you may call it, going to the easier countries or the easier places or already Christianized. Again, this is what this research is addressing, I think, and challenging the status quo. Will we instead have a theology of suffering that will take us beyond into a risky, precarious situation? I mean, Hudson Taylor said it. Elizabeth Elliot reiterated, I think, without risk, there is no need for faith.
Right.
And it is a risky undertaking to seek to bring the gospel to places it's not been.
And people, or Christians from all over the world, are taking that risk. That's perhaps the difference. And the challenge is the same for Nigerians or Brazilians or Filipinos or anybody that's sending missionaries out, is to make sure that we encounter people who have not heard the gospel before.
Yes.
Missions Pulse. Know God's heart, join his mission. This podcast is powered by Within Reach Global. Subscribe, watch, and listen on YouTube today. Visit missionspulse.com.